So the UK elections are coming over really soon on the 4th of July. However, what you got to remember is that both the parties in the leading race, that is the Conservatives and the Labour parties, have made some really great claims about immigration. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing some of them. But what we're going to also discuss is what the Conservatives have said about some positive changes for immigration within the healthcare sector. And if you are anybody who is planning to come into the UK in 2024 or in 2025, I think this video is going to be a little bit more helpful for you because it's going to shed some light on what exactly is going to happen in the next few months and the next year. So if you don't know me, my name is Nikita and I make videos about living in the UK, getting your HCPC registration, cracking those job applications and landing those interviews to get a UK job. And if any of this is of interest to you, do not forget to follow me on Instagram. My handle is Physiotherapy in UK, but also subscribe to my channel. So firstly, let's talk about the reduction in the number of vacancies we've seen recently. So as most of you are aware, since the start of the year, the number of health and care worker visas issued have dropped by nearly 76%. But does this mean that these vacancies do not exist? The answer to this is no, these vacancies still exist. However, what has happened is since the start of the year until April is the end of the financial year, and that's when a lot of NHS trusts send out policies to the higher sort of governing bodies or their sort of financial statuses in order to state what is the recruitment that they would like to see in the next year, that is from April 2024 onwards, which is why there was a slight drop in the number of vacancies being issued at that time. However, following that, there have been several vacancies that have gone out live on the NHS Jobs website and the Track Jobs website. Now, if any of you all are confused about what are these websites and why are they helpful for you in finding jobs, do not forget to check out this video because it gives you a lot of more information about the websites that you can use to find sponsored jobs in the UK. Now, just in terms of coming back to the context of the UK elections, what is going to happen potentially, and this is again something a personal view, is I believe that both of the major parties in the UK have realized that the healthcare is a sector where obviously there is a very huge demand for healthcare professionals. I believe that no matter whichever government comes into power, there might still be a chance of really good immigration for healthcare professionals. So if you are somebody who's waiting for it, let's dive into today's video a bit more. Now, according to the recent statistics that have been pulled through by the several sort of governing bodies across the UK, what they found is that nearly 20,000 people from the UK across different allied healthcare professionals have actually left the UK in the last 2 or 3 years in order to find greener pastures, whether that's US, New Zealand, Australia, or so on and so forth. Now, one of the main reasons for this was obviously that the pay rises were not in line with the inflation, but also that it was getting consistently harder and the pressures on the NHS were really high over the last 2 years as most of the UK economy was recovering from the COVID period. What I want to highlight here is also the fact that obviously many of you all were concerned about the fact that the demand for physiotherapists, occupational therapists, dietitians, or other allied health professionals was going to go down because obviously the UK said that they wanted their staff or their people over here to get these jobs a bit more. And obviously there have been several ongoing implementation of schemes to help people in the UK take up these jobs. But like I said before, let's just see what some of the statistics have to say. So as you can see on your screens right there, it says that in terms of dietitians, they've just said that the latest statistics show that dietitians are needed more now than ever. If you want to see what the UK OT consultancy has to say, so that is a Royal College of Occupational Therapists, they say that nearly 86% have reported that there is an increased demand for OT services now than the last 12 months. So as you can see right there, there are so many people requesting for more allied healthcare professionals. And if that is not enough, the CSP, which is the Chartered Society of Physiotherapists, has said that there is nearly 12,000 people more required to fulfill the physiotherapy vacancies across the UK. So as you can see, the demand for all of the allied healthcare professionals has been on the rise over the last few months, in fact, the last few years. And what has happened is that the number of students going into universities to become an allied healthcare professional in the UK is quite less as compared to what they would have expected. So even in this year, I think they've taken an overall reading and they've said that so there were nearly 2,000 seats that have gone vacant in these universities for allied care professionals in order to be enrolled. Now that obviously says that if the present demand within the UK is not met by the people who are presently in the UK, they will obviously tend to rely on overseas candidates to fulfill some of these vacancies and provide the NHS with the workforce that they need. Now, this is why this is a golden opportunity for most of you guys out there who are planning to come to the UK as allied healthcare professionals. Another interesting statistics that has been thrown there in the mix is that nearly 12% of the UK workforce across allied healthcare professionals are nearing retirement age. So that is that they're going to be retired in the next few years or are going to retire really soon. Now that obviously means that it is going to open up huge number of vacancies again for allied healthcare professionals all over the UK. So that's not only restricted to England or Scotland or Wales or Northern Ireland. It's all over that we should see these vacancy rises coming up. And what are some of the best ways for you to be prepared for this vacancy surge? The first thing that obviously you can do is try to give your IELTS and be prepared. The second thing is make sure that you have actually applied for HCPC registration. Now, if any of you all are concerned about how to make applications for HCPC or what is the right way to do it, do not forget to check out this video playlist because it highlights all of the steps in a very detailed manner and gives you very clear explanation. The third thing that you obviously want to do is try and make those job applications if you have already received your HCPC. Now, in terms of making job applications, let me remind you that the process in the UK is very different as compared to some of our home countries, and it is very likely that you might face lots of rejection in the UK before you are even selected for an interview. Now, what happens to most people is that they feel really disheartened in this initial struggle and they actually give up on applying for jobs in the UK. This is an approach I highly don't recommend, and that is why I would say that check out this playlist if you have any questions about job applications. But if you are continuing to make those job applications and are not landing interviews, I would recommend booking a one-to-one session with me because we can go through some of the most important things for you to remember and make changes in your applications as you are making them so that they are more closely aligned to the UK standards. Another question that I know many of y'all are really concerned about is in terms of the minimum salary requirements that are required for healthcare professionals in order to get the health and care worker visa. Now, if this is on your mind, please do not be stressed because I've created a detailed video about this again, which I think will give you that baseline understanding of which jobs you can apply for and which jobs you can't. Now, for most of y'all who come back to me saying, Nikita, there are no healthcare jobs available in the UK. I just want to pull up my screen right here. And as you can see on the screen right there, there are so many jobs available for you. So this is on the nhsjobs.com where you can see I have just put the tagline of allied healthcare professionals and there is a list of jobs over here. There are over 20 to 25 jobs just on this list, on this first page. And if I scroll right to the end, that is page number 54. And again, there are nearly 20 to 25 jobs available for you over there. Now, I'm not going to lie and I'm not going to say that these are all jobs for physios or for OTs or for dietitians or for speech and language therapists. No. This is a mix of all the jobs available across all the bands in the UK. However, what I want to just show you right here is that there are so many jobs coming out every single day. And if you make an effort to apply for these jobs, I am sure that you are going to be in a position to land these roles if you make sure that you have made those job applications the right way. And again, if you are confused about how to do that, do not forget to book a one-to-one session with me where we can go over all of these details in so much more clarity, and that will give you so much more confidence when you make these job applications. I hope you found this video useful, guys, and if you did, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Take care. Bye.